Hello, and welcome back to the Freedom Queen podcast, where powerful women learn how to lead movements, create brands that change the world, and you get paid to exist. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. If you're an OG, I love you, and I'm so excited to talk with you. I'm Bridget James Ling. I have built a multi-million-dollar company, a company that's generated $7 million in revenue. It has grown at record-breaking speeds. I make on average anywhere from 200 to 400K cash months on repeat. And I have built my entire company through my heart, my soul, through God, through literally the movement methodology that I have been teaching people for years. And I've been saying it over and over again. I'm like, build the movement, build the movement, build the movement, build the movement. And I want to talk with you today about something really simple, really simple that has changed my life in so many ways. And it's actually great timing because we're entering into one of my favorite seasons in Freedom Queen that I do every summer, about this time, halfway through the year. And it's nuts, to say the least. So many years ago, when I first quit my job in New York City and I moved to Costa Rica, and then about 2 weeks into Costa Rica, I met my now fiance, Robbie, and we started living together, dating, falling in love. Then we moved in together after 2 months of knowing one another. And I remember it was my first year in business now in 2021. I had incorporated my company. I was like, okay, this thing is real. I'm actually going to do this. And I started signing on my first clients at $1,500 each for 3 months of private coaching. Okay, that's what I charged. $1,500 for 3 months of private coaching. That is incredible. I now charge $15K per month for private coaching. So I'm having such a moment here right now, actually, while recording this, because wow, this is such a testament. I hope that I am a testimony for what happens when you build a movement, that you can see the compounding effect of it all. Oh my gosh, I'm having such a moment while saying this to you. And so in that time period, I was signing on $1,500 clients, and I was pretty good at it. Like I could, because I built my entire business off of the invite, which is in what I call the art of moving the masses and build a movement and go depth, high end with people, right? Which is, I just provide value to the marketplace through my leadership, through what I can help people with, my skill sets, my frequency, and then people want to hire me. And that's pretty much how I was doing it, but it was very micro. So it was, I knew people individually, or someone would find me on the internet, and it would take a lot of time to kind of warm people up, build a relationship with them, have them get to know me, and then they would say yes. And I would do everything mostly on sales calls for my $1,500 3-month offer, where you got weekly coaching sessions with me and access to my phone number to text all of the time. And I realized that year that I needed a system in order to grow the company. Like I needed something that would constantly bring in new income. And what I realized is that I didn't have that. I didn't have a system. I didn't have a system for freedom. I had a business that required me to only make money in certain periods of time because it required me showing up to make the money, right? So it was like I would have to do a push, I'd have to talk to people, and then have to get them to buy. And I didn't really have a brand at the time. My content was not cohesive whatsoever. And so I would do this like push model business, or like the pirate ship business, which is you go out, you make some money, you get the money, you come back like a pirate, versus a captain that's sailing the sea and you can just go anywhere and everybody wants to pay the captain. And I remember thinking to myself, one day I was walking to a cafe in Costa Rica. Robbie and I lived in this small beach town in an apartment that we definitely could not afford at the time, but I think it was like $8,000 a month. Like, it was absurd. But I've kind of always been this way. I've always known like risk equals reward. I have a huge risk tolerance, but I also know and deeply trust in myself and God. And I know, like, I always known from the beginning, like, I'm here to do big things. And so back then, I remember when we were paying $8,000 a month and we would split it. I remember thinking, like, this is just going to work. Like, I was investing in myself. I had really high rent. Like, I was just going to make it work somehow. And this is also how I operate to this day. And we were living in this apartment that was way overpriced, but we wanted to live there. And we thought it was so nice. Like, now that Robbie and I have done ultra luxury things, like we just did a vacation that was $50,000 vacation, which is my old salary. And that's what it was in total for his family, us, like everything included that we paid for. And we just started to rain here in Costa Rica. It's so beautiful. So we thought that this was like a lot of money to be spending per month, $8,000, which it is a good amount of money. It was absurd though for that place. And I would walk into town and I would go to this coffee shop and I would get a latte or cappuccino. I think I was a cappuccino person at the time, and I would get a cappuccino. And then I would work on my business all day, but I would kind of open up like 12 different tabs, one of them being Canva, one of them being Instagram, and Voxer at the time, because I was a big into Voxer then. And I would kind of work on my business, but I would also like joke. Like, I wasn't really building my business. I would kind of talk with people here and there. And then I would remember there was this very specific day. I remember where I was sitting in the coffee shop. I was at the corner. I was talking to one of my colleagues at the time. And I remember leaving this cafe. And I remember walking back to the $8,000 a month condo. And I remember walking in the door and saying to Robbie that I didn't sign on a client that day. Like, I had nothing to show for all of the work that I had put in. And I thought to myself, what if there was a way to always bring in new clients? What if I had a system that brought in new people? Just like how I think about making money, like I think about weight loss. It's very easy. You're just not doing the right things. It's very easy to lose weight. It's like, get 10,000 steps per day minimum, eat in a calorie deficit, have a high protein diet, drink a lot of water, remove processed foods. Okay? You're going to lose weight. Unless there's some outlying factor, but most people don't have an outlying factor in weight loss and when it comes to business. And so I was like, okay, there's got to be a formula to this. I'm going to make one because no one's telling me what the formula is. And so I basically looked at everything that made me the most money. And this is when the Freedom Queen formula was created. It's these 5 things that you do every single day. And so I started to build out this methodology, this formula, and it started to work. I had my first 10K month, and then the next month, 20K month, and the next month, 30K month, and then the next month, 15K month, and the next month, 30K month, and the next month, and I started to see really big results. And I'm like, this is working. Okay, like I started to get new buyers interested in working with me every day. I started to get people to sign up for offers every day. I started to get new followers. My community started to grow. People started to feel like I'm a part of the movement, that they were a part of the Freedom Queen movement. And so I introduced a membership. At the time, it was the first membership of its kind in the industry, the Make Money membership. And I started really teaching this methodology inside of it, the Freedom Queen formula. And so then I scaled the business to multiple millions using the Freedom Queen formula. And last year, I kept getting this call from God, which was to create a experience for people where they can implement the formula, but do it in a condensed amount of time together, kind of like a 75 hard. And I kept getting this message. Now, what's funny, right, is that right now, Robbie and I are doing the 75 hard challenge. This is the first time I'm telling anyone this. So we have been radically transforming behind the scenes. And last summer on my birthday, I'm at this beautiful mountain cabin hotel that I actually went again for my birthday this year, and Robbie surprised me with some incredible humans. And I birthed the 50 to Freedom methodology. I remember exactly where I was talking about how I was going to rework the Freedom Queen formula into this 50-day sprint where you go all out in your business and you watch it compound. And so I did it last year. And we had hundreds of people inside of this 50-day challenge. And I remember my business went from a $200,000 month to my first $300,000 cash month. And it was because of the volume, the quantity, and the increase in brand quality that I did that month inside of it. And so essentially, it's 5 days. It's called the 50 to Freedom method. And every day you do these 5 things. That's it. You do these 5 things every day for 50 days. And I did it with everyone. I had it in my notepad on my phone. I checked off every single day that I did something. We had weekly calls, a Telegram group. It was insane. And so this year, I'm already doing 300K cash months. Last month was almost a 400K cash month. In 32 days, I did $400,000 cash. And I wasn't even doing 50 to Freedom. Oh my gosh, I'm actually having chills as I'm reading this. What if you doubled your income in a month by doing 50 to Freedom? I'm having a coming to Jesus moment right now. I'm having flashbacks to when I walked home from that cafe in Costa Rica in 2021 and I created this method. Wow, this is gonna be good. And so I'm getting ready to open up the 50 to Freedom method and sprint and challenge. Again, it's going to start on July 1st. It's going to start on July 1st. And when I drop this challenge, I want you to be ready. I want you to sign up for it as soon as possible. And when you sign up for it, I want you to send me a message and say, I'm in 50 to Freedom. Now, if you're listening to this podcast and it's already been launched, then click below in the show notes to sign up for it. 50-day challenge. Inside of it, there will be weekly live calls with me. There's going to be a Telegram group so that in between our calls, you're getting some trainings dropped by me. Weekly accountability to make sure that you're doing the 5 things every single day. But most importantly, when you sign up, I want you to message me and say, I'm in 50 to Freedom, because I want this to be a moment for you. I want this to be a moment for you where you said, I decide. You decide to become a bigger version of yourself. I have this quote that I've always said, you can at any point in time decide to become a bigger version of yourself. And I find that it's not actually in the big things. I've always found that the decision to go bigger, and I'm having this moment right now, the decision to go bigger doesn't happen in the big moments, it happens in the micro moments. It happens in the little moments where you decide, you sign up for 50 to Freedom, you DM me, I'm in 50 to Freedom, you say yes to this challenge, you're all in for 50 days, you come to the Telegram trainings, you're commenting on the chat, you're coming to the calls, you're so all in, and you reap the rewards, you get the harvest for all of the seeds that you planted over those 50 days, myself included. I'm doing it too. I once had a client say to me, is this for advanced business owners. I'm like, what do you mean an advanced business owner? I'm making $200,000 cash months at top in the industry. I would say this is for advanced business owners. This 50-day challenge is for you if you're making $1 million months. It's for you if you're making $50,000 months. It's for you if you're making $100,000 months. It's for you if you're making $300,000 months. It's for you if you're making $10 a month. I had a client last year. She was making $0 a month. She had a $10,000 month because of 50 to Freedom. Wow. Massive. I jumped from $200,000 to $300,000 cash months. Crazy. But simple scales, complex fails. So many people are thinking, I need this thing, I need this construct, I need this thing. No, just like weight loss, you need to master the basics of building a movement, the basics of content, the basics of sales, and get so good at them. But most people are buying into somebody's idea of what it actually looks like to build a business. So they buy this construct from someone because that person was just more confident and more powerful than you. So you bought the overcomplicated strategy thinking that that's what you needed to get to where you want to be. But actually, if you just mastered what? The basics, you would be where you want to be. But you got distracted. And so this 50-day challenge is for you to stay on your pathway, blinders on, you're in the zone. Now, what's really cool about this 50 to Freedom methodology is that I have a lot of high-level mastermind clients that do, on average, let's say 100K months, either 100K sales months or 100K cash months. And one of the things that I have always been so focused on is helping you become a real business owner or CEO. And a real business owner and CEO actually has a strategy that works for you. So my strategy is my strategy. I didn't learn it from someone. I didn't I hired this person and they gave me this strategy. I've built the Freedom Queen strategy that I use to this day to make 300K cash months, to make $400,000 cash in just over a month. That's created by me. And so I'm not going to teach you to be a copy paste of me. That's not what I want you to do. I want you to actually learn high-level strategies and create them for yourself while doing the 50 to Freedom methodology, so that you can not just understand what to do, like take these actions, but you understand the why and the who behind it, so that then you can go and create whatever it is that you want to create inside of your business. Okay. Hi, I just literally, this podcast episode was like a line in the sand. I cannot wait to see you inside of the 50 to Freedom method. I wasn't even going to drop it, and I am like, let's go. So if you're listening to this and it's already been launched, click the link in the show notes to sign up for 50 to Freedom. Then message me saying, I am in 50 to Freedom. And if it hasn't been launched yet, I want you to get so excited. I want you to message me actually on Instagram and be like, I'm so excited for 50 to Freedom method. Can you just tell me when it's going to drop? I want to see the excitement in my DMs. And Freedom Queen, I will see you in the 50 to Freedom method starting on July 1st, and I'll talk to you soon.